Tucson is still abuzz from a magical night 48 hours ago. Then it was on the football field, and these students stormed the field after Arizona stunned Oregon. But on Saturday night, it's basketball night in Tucson as they come to watch the returning Pac-10 Freshman of the Year, Chase Budinger, leading the Wildcats into action against the defending co-ACC champions, the Virginia Cavaliers. It is our kickoff night of Pac-10 Hoops on FSN. We are glad to have you with us. Ted Robinson, Marcus Johnson, ready to guide you through the most anticipated Pac-10 season maybe ever. And it's really in large part, Marcus, because of young players, a great sophomore cast, and more new kids like the next great point guard, they hope, here in Arizona.
Ted, where's he? Oh, never mind. Gonna love working with you. Jarrett Bayless is a terrific point guard. He follows in a long mold of terrific point guards in Arizona history. Mighty Mouse, Damon Stoudemire, Mike Bibby, integral part to that 97 championship. Jason the Jet Terry, All-American. Gilbert Arenas dropped 20 points in his first game at Madison Square Garden, doing his thing for the Washington Wizards. And the latest, greatest is Jarrett Bayless, two-time Arizona State High School Player of the Year. 38 points a game as a junior. That kind of dropped off to 33 points a game as a senior, but he's a do-it-all guard at both ends of the floor, and he better do it all defensively because Sean Singletary, a tough, chip on his shoulder Philadelphia guard, will be bringing it at him. He's got a chance, Ted, to finish his career with 2,000 points and 500 assists. Only three other guys have done that: Phil Ford, Johnny Dawkins, and Travis Best. That's how good he is.
That is some company.
Yeah.
All right, Arizona's lineup. Daniel Dillon, a senior, gets a start. Only the second of his career. He's an exceptional defender. But Bayless, the freshman guard for Phoenix, matches up with Singletary. Virginia, though, has their own standout freshman. That's Jeff Jones, great high school scorer in Philadelphia. And we are ready to go. Arizona in white. This is the fourth straight year that these teams have played. The home team has won each. Last year, Arizona led by 19 in Charlottesville first half. Virginia came back to win by 3.
We're going to see some cross matchups, I think, in this game. Sean Singletary with the rip of Jarrett Bayless and doesn't convert on the layup opportunity.
Budinger back for Arizona. Ryan Pettinella clears it.
See, that's a kind of aggressiveness that Kevin O'Neal wants to see out of Chase Budinger. Just come down, look to take shots, even if it's in his mind not a great shot, but get into the flow of thinking about being an aggressive offensive player.
Mamadi Diani had a huge game. Diani did against Arizona last year at 25, one off his career best. And this is the test for Arizona this year. Can they play this kind of sustained half-court defense? And finally, the desperation shot by Jones. Long rebound to Arizona's Jawan McClellan.
That's a freshman. My nerves are getting to me. Jump shot in McHale Center by Jeff Jones. That first jumper just nowhere near close to the basket, but a good defensive sequence for the Wildcats here early on. Talking about good defense. Mamadi Diani, DeMatha High School, right up in Chase Budinger. He's not going to give him any breathing room whatsoever.
And Jordan Hill tried to kick it back out to Bayless, and Arizona's turned it over twice already. Well, there's something strange, of course, in McHale Center at the start of this year. Kevin O'Neal, the interim coach, while Lute Olson takes a leave of absence. Of course, Kevin O'Neal, Division I head coach for 11 years, NBA head coach for a year, has history here in Arizona, an assistant on the first Final Four team. And Kevin told us that he talked to Lute Olson after they won their first game against Northern Arizona Tuesday, and that there's no timetable. Lute's going to be back, everybody here believes. It's not going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, they say soon, but Kevin O'Neal, as you mentioned, was an assistant coach here in the late 80s. He is a defensive guy, defensive-minded type of a guy. But when you have to prepare defensively all these years under some great coaches, you have to pick up some things offensively also. So I think he's going to bring a lot to the table for Arizona until Coach Olson comes back.
Well, Marcus, that was it. And you saw this team play so much last year, and everybody, all they did was talk about how talented Arizona was, so, but they didn't play any defense. And that's why Kevin O'Neal is here.
Talking about that the last couple of years, trying to shore up the defensive effort, the intensity of this team, the focus and the concentration, not always there the last couple of years, but you know, they want to bring back a new kind of an attitude for Arizona defensively.
Shuffle by McClellan, so it's 3 quick Arizona turnovers.
Yeah, and we talk about defense, but Dave Leto, that's the standard of his programs from being assistant at UConn under Jim Calhoun to DePaul to Virginia since he's taken over this program. They do a great job defending on the perimeter.
Singletary over Bayless. Made one, missed the second. And Daniel Dillon corrals.
Yeah, now that first one he made over Chase Budinger, it gave him a little bit too much room, as did Jared Bayless. And you got to get up in him, make it and rely on your help principles to stop penetration.
Jordan Hill stepping out, and obviously anyone that follows the Pac-10 knows how crucial he will be to an Arizona team that doesn't have depth amongst the big men.
That's one thing they talked about in their practice yesterday. Arizona, Kevin O'Neal, we're going to Jordan Hill a lot. We're going to him early. Jordan Hill worked extensively on his medium-range jump shot down at the run and shoot basketball facility in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. So he got a chance to show off some of that hard work.
Kevin O'Neal's applauding his team. The fans are picking up on it. They're seeing Arizona play some half-court D, but Virginia with a dagger. Jeff Jones from Philadelphia. Second three for Virginia.
You got a good point guard like Sean Singletary. You spread it out, let him draw and kick, and let you penetrate the open shooters.
Now Budinger barrels, and Chase Budinger picks up the offensive foul.
Chase is going to put his head down, going left. Nice job. Stepping right into the mix. Defender coming over from the weak side. And for Chase Budinger, you know, this is a kind of new territory, being more aggressive on the collegiate level offensively. Just a terrific scorer in high school, but last year he was so used to deferring to Mustafa Shakur and Marcus Williams. His mindset has got to be completely different this season. It's going to take some adjustment on his part.
Well, that's another difference between these teams. If you've got to foul off the ball, a bad screen here can be called on Adrian Joseph of Virginia. Virginia has virtually everybody back. They lost J.R. Reynolds, who was the other half of their terrific backcourt with Singletary. Arizona, though, lost a lot. They lost, in fact, there's Dave Lato, the Virginia coach. As Marcus mentioned, he played under Jim Calhoun, apprenticed as a coach under Jim Calhoun. And looking at what Virginia did last year, Marcus, to me, they were to the ACC what Washington State was to the Pac-10.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere. Picked the finish in the bottom part of the conference, 11-5. They tied for the conference championship regular season with North Carolina.
And Dave Lato said it was defense. There's Arizona trying to crash the glass, but Pettinella scoops up the loose ball from UVA.
That's what you want out of Ryan Pettinella, and then you want this guy, Adrian Joseph, to be aggressive offensively also. But you talked about Jeff Jones, just a terrific scorer. That's what Dave Lato loves about his game. Terrific score in high school, and we're seeing some early carry over here on the next level.
And that's what's going to replace Reynolds. That's what Virginia needs. They got to score.
And they lost Reynolds and Jason Kane, who averaged 6. But more importantly, Ted, both those guys were vocal leaders, and that's what they don't have on this club this year. But they got that for Arizona. They're off the dribble going left. That's the second time Budinger. They're trying to force him to his left. He's made him pay a couple of times.
Now Singletary tried to beat him in transition. Bayless cleared the defensive board. And so pretty frantic pace to start. A little over 4.5 minutes in. Virginia's nailed 3 threes early. They're in Tucson, Arizona. Long the focal point of Pac-10 basketball. Great non-conference tradition here through the years. Ted Robinson, Marcus Johnson with you. I feel like I should wear a name tag after you locked me up there right off the bat, partner.
No, man. You know, we worked together, what, about
a long time ago.
15 years, it seems like. About 12 years ago. We did a UCLA game, Texas game. Good to be back in the saddle. Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's Arizona now trying.
There's a little switch up defensively from Virginia out of the timeout. Some zone defense, 5th turnover for Arizona.
Brett Brillmeyer in the game for the first time for Arizona. Diani hits the 3, so Virginia has made 4 threes early.
They have not missed a beat from what I'm looking from last season. Vermont Howard games early, the competition obviously not on par with ACC level competition, so there was some concern about just how well they played this year, but so far it's good.
Nice dump down from McClellan to Brillmeyer, former walk-on. But right now, UVA's made 4 threes. They made 21 threes in their first 2 games in Charlottesville.
Yeah, Brett Brillmeyer will be a key because Jordan Hill is having a hard time staying on the floor because of foul trouble. So good to get Brett some minutes, get his feet wet in this game, in this action, and this level of intensity because you're going to need him later on.
That's Bayless against Single. Nice screen by Pettinella. And then Singletary sets up Jones. What a great screen by Ryan Pettinella.
Well, and a great screen, but just the freshman to come into McHale, that we saw that first brick. He got that first brick out of his system, Ted, and now it's on. It's on and cracking for Jeff Jones.
3 threes for Jones. Bayless with an answer. It's 2.
It's amazing to me at the talent level, the confidence of the freshmen of today. I mean, back when I played, you didn't have that kind of air of confidence coming into a tough, pressurized situation like this. Today's freshmen, it doesn't faze them whatsoever.
McClellan with the drive. You know, it's scary, Marcus. You look at this, the way Arizona sets up, and you look at Buttinger, and you think he's a veteran.
Yeah.
It's the second game of his second year, and he looks like a vet.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really a theme I think we'll see all year long. The game has almost switched. It's become a game and a story about the new kids, the freshmen. There are a couple of teams we'll see in the Pac-10, though. The Oregons, the Washington States. Those teams have got a lot of experience. And that's going to be an interesting collision.
Yeah, and in the past, that's always helped teams the latter part of the season and in the NCAA tournament when you had the experienced teams. Wisconsin, I remember a few years ago, under Dick Bennett, getting to the Final Four with a bunch of guys who were upperclassmen and seniors.
All right, Bayless is out for the first time. Nick Wise in, and 5 seconds.
Yeah. Good. I like that. See, that's Kevin O'Neal. That's his imprint on this program so far as an assistant coach, bringing in that kind of defense on the inbounds play. Rarely do you see a team contest the inbounds pass as vigorously as Arizona did on that possession, and they get the turnover because of it.
Now Nick Wise, who's the backup point guard, dumps down low to Buttinger. And Buttinger gets a nice roll, soft touch by the sophomore.
Okay, that's got to be Kevin O'Neal also, because Lute Olson likes to run a lot of motion. That was a UCLA cut, and I know Lute would never run a UCLA cut. Nothing UCLA would Lute ever bring here to Tucson. That was a UCLA cut all the way.
All right, nice dump down by Jones. To the floor, though, the scramble. Virginia saves it only to have Singletary toss it away.
Well, that's the impact of Daniel Dillon and Nick Wise on the floor at the same time, the quickness factor.
And Buttinger, there is the 3.
Good defensive unit on the floor for Arizona right now, especially with the slim down, quicker of foot Nick Wise, ball hawking Sean Singletary.
Ball, he's out for the first time. Virginia, the Cavaliers are deep. They have more depth than Arizona. Jones, let's fly again. Boy, the one thing Kevin O'Neal's angry at Daniel Dillon there because that's his best defender. But today, in the shoot-around, the one instruction Kevin O'Neal kept telling his defenders, when you go out, you have to go out with your hands in the air or they'll pop up and shoot the 3 over. Dillon didn't do that.
Yeah, and you got to close out more aggressively, looking to try and make the shooter, Jeff Jones, who's on fire right now, the freshman, put the basketball on the floor. He's getting too wide open of a look, even on the one shot that he's missed.
All right, a foul. McClellan draws the foul on his drive.
Chase Buttinger starting to assert himself offensively. We talked about that. His coaches have been imploring him to shoot here off the UCLA cut, just up and over the smaller defenders, and he's got the range to knock down and make you pay if you don't check up on the outside. Yaka!
One thing that has been a landmark in the Pac-10 for 2 decades has been this being a great home court. And that slipped a little bit last year. Arizona lost 5 games on this court last year. They hadn't done that in 2 decades.
Wow.
And that's something they want to reverse. And of course, Marcus, everybody in the Pac-10, you've been around the Pac-10 for 3 decades from your playing days on.
Thanks for reminding me. Thanks, Ted.
You don't look at that.
Yeah,
you
right.
don't look at that. This could be the best year. And everybody's thinking, man, if everything broke right, they could get 8 teams out of this conference in to the NCAAs. But for that to happen, these are the games that are crucial. These are huge games for schools like Arizona to win.
Yeah, and you cannot. Chase Buttinger had some blood on his shorts, I forget, some concern with. But you've got to win these games with your RPI come Selection Sunday, and you can't lose to the Sienas and the Mercers of the world, even though it happened. But that's the one thing that may affect you down the road. So you're going to have to make up for that because they're going to beat each other up come tournament, come Pac-10 season. 2-3 zone again.
Bayless drills him. So Arizona gets their second three.
Bayless had 18 points against Northern Arizona, but admittedly he said he did not have one of his better games. He is shooting the ball with a lot more confidence in this game, and in Virginia, giving him some open shots that maybe they want to think second about.
And a nice job by Nick Wise to come in and slow the line. Bayless with the finish. Out of bounds.
Don't take it full court. Give him a little crossover near the free throw line. Jared Bayless, I'm glad we featured him in our open, because he is making us look really good right now. Nick Wise, nice job with the poke away. Watch this crossover right to left, and then just kind of step through the last line of defense. And most of the time when you're going that fast to the basket, very difficult, Ted, to gather and slow down enough and control your body enough to kiss it softly off the glass. But he's got all of that and more.
You know, Kevin O'Neill said to me the other day about Bayless, he goes, they're trying to make him a point guard this year out of necessity. And he said, when you're Mr. Everything in high school like Bayless was, Bayless had 15 games in his high school career, and Phoenix scored 40 or more.
Yeah,
15. So now you're saying you can't be Mr. Everything. You've got to pass the ball once in a while, set plays up. He said it's going to take time for him to figure that out.
Yeah, but you know, you don't want to dampen his enthusiasm for scoring points. You want to keep that aggressive offensive posture while he's in the process of running the point guard, or play him along with Nick Wise. Nick can be the true point guard and allow Jared Bayless to do what he does. He averaged 38 points a game as a junior, 33 as a senior. As you talked about, all the 40-point games. I was here last year, and he had a 54-point game in a playoff game in high school. So, I mean, he's just a natural scorer, so you want to really help him facilitate that. That's a new word in basketball these days, facilitate.
There's a nice little inbounds feed for a layup by Jamil Tucker.
Virginia does a great job executing, especially underneath out-of-bounds plays. They work a lot on that, and they have some real tricky plays that you got to really be focused on playing defensively, or you're going to get burned like on that possession. Miscommunication, yep.
Well, Arizona, which did not have a sharp game at all in its first game against Northern Arizona, with the one bright spot, they only had 5 turnovers the entire game. They've now 6 in the first 10 minutes. Now Nick Wise, the backup point guard, getting a little more playing time at the start of this year. And we're going to start something tonight with Marcus. We're going to tell you something that we bet you didn't know about Nick Wise.
I bet you didn't know that Nick Wise lost 20 pounds since the end of last season, and he did it with the help of the strength and conditioning guy who made sure that he knew how to shop properly. Neil Rampy would take it to the grocery store, show him how to buy special stuff, and he knew it was working, Ted, when he dunked the ball for the first time, 2 hands, back in May of this year. He knew it when he was on the right track. So 20 pounds since the end of last season, and that's not the only thing that I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Nick Wise, Dominique Giovanni Wise, I thought he was named after Nikki Giovanni, a famous poetry lady, but he was named after Dominique Wilkins.
Wow.
His dad, Greg Wise, who played at Houston Baptist, was in the Atlanta Hawks training camp in 1983. He and Dominique were roommates, developed a friendship. He named his son after Dominique Wilkins. I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't. So now the next question I'm going to assign you, why isn't he called Meek Wise?
That's to be continued.
Yeah, Singletary. A little left-handed push there, and Budden clears it.
Virginia back into their man-to-man defense. Deani on Budinger. But again, Chase Budinger, you got to keep his offensive aggression, his passion for scoring points at a high level, and you got to stop the turnovers.
Well, different level of competition. The Virginia defense making a difference as Deani drills it. Virginia, we played 10.5 minutes, and they have not made a 2-point basket yet. They do have one, excuse me. Tucker had the one off the inbounds.
Yeah, the inbounds play, but Deani, I mean, he has really improved his outside shooting. He came in mainly as a defensive stopper, but doing a nice job tonight knocking down the jumpers, medium range and long.
7 threes for UVA already.
Virginia led the conference, the ACC, last year in 3-point shots attempted, so this is nothing new for Dave Lato and how he likes to play. They spread the court once again, rely on their quickness, and a lot of it is just draw and kick basketball. Singletary to Jeff Jones, to Deani, to the shooters, and Jamil Tucker is another guy, the big guy, who will step out for a big guy, 6'8", 249 pounds, and knock down three-point shots.
I wonder to find out a little something about Dave Lato as a coach here, because Jeff Jones, who has 4 threes already, also has 2 fouls. And so we'll find out if Dave Lato's just going to sit him and nurse it and save him for the second half. Virginia, of course, this is a one-game trip. It's a long way to cross the country to play a single game. They got here Thursday.
But he puts Calvin Baker on the floor, who's playing the top right there on the zone for Virginia. And he led William and Mary in scoring a couple of years ago as a freshman, 11 points a game. So he's a guy that they really like and believe can give them short minutes to replace some of their shooters.
Singletary, but Arizona back well. Singletary still splits. And the rebound cleared by Jordan Hill. And he's fouled on the rebound by Laurynas Mikalauskas, junior from Lithuania.
Watching Mikalauskas in practice, Laurynas, a.k.a. Lars, even though it looks like Lars, but they call him Lars in practice. He's a very athletic lefty, does some great job, kind of Dave Cowens type face-up, short corner jump shots that he can knock down with a lot of consistency.
Singletary really harassing.
Talking about downsizing, which is a term Kevin Miller likes to use when they're going 4 guards basically.
Yes.
You know Arizona likes to go the 3-guard, 2-big lineup that has been so successful over the years.
They really don't have that second big, do they?
Yeah. I mean, Kurt Walters, they were hoping that he would be the guy last year, but just a series of things happening with him, illness and injury, mononucleosis, concussions, and he's still not 100%.
So Adrian Joseph, big scorer for the Cavaliers, just picked up his second foul. He'll sit. So 2 Virginia men now, 2 fouls each, Jones and Joseph.
And they got absolutely nothing out of Joseph, just 1 field goal attempt. Hadn't scored a point yet, so they need him to be aggressive. But Mamadou Diani has kind of filled in the board along with Jeff Jones.
And that's something as Hill gets fouled again here, Marcus. That's something we're finding out about Arizona early in the year, because this is a team that lost a lot. They had last year Arizona's starting 5 played 80% of the minutes, and in the first game last week against Northern Arizona, their starting 5 played 75% of the minutes.
So great little drop off.
But I mean, look, with a couple of new starters, but the point is that they don't have right now a lot of established depth. And in their, as Arizona always does, Marcus, they play such a grueling non-conference that you're not necessarily going to get a lot of games to develop depth.
Yeah, and that's why a youngster like a Jamel Horn out of San Diego, a freshman, will be a big part of their success this year. They got to get the productive minutes out of Daniel Dillon. Fendi Anabun was slated to play some minutes at that power forward spot, but he's got a shin injury that he's had problems with.
Hill made both free throws for Arizona. Velasquez inside. Nice little underneath lean in, and the tip by Jamil Tucker.
Yeah, Lars Velasquez, he's aggressive, and he's going to try and score the basketball. Every time he gets it in the paint, and what that does, it puts the defense in a help position and opens up a rebounding lane for Jamil Tucker on the offensive glass.
And there's Wise knocking down a 3.
Saw Nick before the game. It's like, where is the rest of you? He dropped to 20 pounds, but he just looked so cut up and so nice in that sleek Nike little tight shirt he had on.
See, that's it. When you lose 20, you get the tight shirt on. You don't have the baggy shirt anymore. Singletary has not hit his shot yet, but there's Mikalauskas on the glass.
Active, I tell you, this young man is extremely active, and he's got some vert. He's got some hops. They do a drill where they get a layup line. Everybody gets to get their dunk on before their shoot-around starts in the morning, the day of a game, just to get everybody into the flow and aggressive and feeling good about themselves. And Mikalauskas was the most impressive dunker out of everybody.
That is a major reason why so many are so big on the Pac-10 this year is this group of newcomers. Kevin Love at UCLA, O.J. Mayo at USC.
Jared Bayless, we're getting a chance to watch him live and in living color right in front of us. Also a McDonald's All-American, and then finishing out the package, another Arizona, who's playing in Arizona for Arizona State, James Harden out of Artesia High School in Southern California.
Arizona State hasn't played a game yet. They play their first game of the year Monday night in Maui. The other three, those are their debuts. And Mayo today backed it up. USC won a road game at South Carolina today, and Mayo had 29 on the road.
They played a nice subdued game against the Citadel a couple of games ago, O.J. Mayo, and the Cadets were giving him a hard time. A lot of heckling going on, but he handled it nicely and comes back and explodes on South Carolina today. Nice defense. Great interior defense inside.
Arizona back. Bayless on the court. Jordan Hill is out right now. So Gromeyer is the one big man. And Wise is wide left.
You can't get much more open than that for Nick Wise. And I'm not sure if the ball slipped out of his hands or exactly what happened, but he's normally a much better shooter than that.
Look at the number of threes already. 15 tried in 14 minutes by these teams.
Now a little wheel offense on the part of Virginia, just kind of running perimeter players around the inside screen. Pettinelli.
Foul on Arizona as Diani made a move to the top of the key. That's going to be Butler's second foul. Right leg out.
Looked like Diani initiated a lot of that contact, but that's okay. That's a good call by the officials.
So at McHale Center in Tucson, Virginia leading Arizona by 3 in this debut of Pac-10 Hoops on FSN for this college basketball season. Sean Singletary, the leading active scorer in the ACC. Daniel Dillon gets fouled on the rebound.
I'll tell you what, I mean, Sean Singletary, he's a great player, 2,000 points, 500 assists, if the numbers hold up from last year. But Arizona is doing a great job, as you see Daniel Dillon giving one up for the team, Ted. Buffing the mahogany down there, but Nick Wise doing a nice job on Sean Singletary. Sean Singletary right now is 1 for 8, I believe, from the field. Nothing easy for Singletary. Every shot's been a difficult one. It's been a contested shot, so Kevin Neal's got to be happy with the way his team has defended Sean Singletary.
And Philadelphia native Sean Singletary will take a brief rest here. As Dillon at the line for Arizona. I was going to ask you this now. Budinger, Marcus, is sitting with 2 fouls. And you look at Arizona now, can they play a long time without Budinger on the floor with this team?
They can, but they won't score any points. Yeah, they can play.
Thank you.
No, they won't score very many.
We're thinking the same thing.
They can, but Bayless will have to be Jared Bayless, the freshman, which is a lot to put on a freshman. And Jawan McClellan, he's another guy out there that has been awful quiet. He just had 1 field goal attempt so far, so he's got to become more assertive, and it's a great opportunity with no Chase Budinger on the floor. But now Jordan Hill back in the game. Look for them to go into Jordan Hill a lot more in the post also.
Well, Mustafa Farrakhan is on the floor for the first time for Virginia. That was muscle move inside. That's swatted away by Nick Wise.
Boy, is he, I mean, just the loss of weight has made him a lot quicker, a lot more active. He's quicker off the floor right there. Just a great job with the block on Ryan Pettinella inside. That's the kind of dig back help that you need your guards to give you. Great job defending the inbounds play. I mean, I'm liking the defensive effort of Arizona. The question is, you're talking about with no Chase, can they score at the other end? But we will soon find out.
And Virginia's running a little bigger lineup out here, too, so this could be a challenge.
And without Sean Singletary on the floor, how well will their offense flow?
How will UVA do? Virginia fouls off the ball here. Dave Lato's got a lot of bodies. He's played 13, 14 guys in each of his first 2 games. He brought 16 players here on this trip.
Everybody should have a chance to enjoy the fun in the sun of Tucson, Arizona, but judging by the intensity of their shoot-around today, not a whole lot of fun in the sun. They're here on business, take care of some business. There's the Jordan Hill we talked about, going to Jordan Hill, going to him early and often, especially with no Budinger on the floor for Arizona.
So Jamil Tucker. Now, Jamil Tucker's a big man, but he shoots the three extremely well, 49% as a freshman.
When they broke him up into individual skills drills this morning, they had the guard shoot the three at one end, the big guys doing post moves. At the other end, Tucker was down there with the guards. I had to double take, like, what is he doing down there? But he belongs. He showed he belonged.
McClellan trying to dump it in the lane to Jordan Hill, and that's a foul on McClellan.
Out of control. Good job by Virginia stepping into the driving lane to pick up the offensive foul. But Jawan, right now, a little disjointed, a little out of sorts offensively for Arizona.
Would you say, Marcus, that in these first 3-4 trips down the floor without Budinger, you're seeing that effect?
You're seeing the potential nightmare that will face Arizona when Chase Budinger is not on the floor for this team. They rely so much on what he can do offensively. Not only shooting, but Chase is a pass-first kind of a guy anyway, so he gets other people involved.
Back cut. Tucker and Pettinella. Tucker just couldn't finish. Wise stumbled and lost the ball to Singletary. Takes it right back. Nicely done. Wow, Nick Wise had a really terrific end to that sequence.
Well, Nick Wise has been the catalyst for this basketball team.
And then a tough play by Wise. He ends up slapping Singletary on a 3-ball.
You're going to see Nick Wise push it up before he gets tripped by his own teammate. But then, you know, you can't do that when you're 20 pounds heavier. Bounce up like that. But then a great pass to Jordan Hill on the finish for the Wildcats. Looking good here early as they trail by 2.
Virginia coming to McHale Center in Tucson with a first-half lead, living so far off the 3-ball. 8 of 11 so far.
Sometimes you live by the sword, you can die by the sword, but so far it's been good to Virginia as they found a variety of ways to get that three-point shooter open. Little draw and kick action, a little early transition, nice pass from Adrian Joseph. Deani right there knocks down the three, a little dribble handoff to Jeff Jones. I mean, we're seeing about 4 or 5 different ways to get that open look from the three-point line, and Kevin O'Neal, that's one of his defensive principles of, you know, no layups, no open three-pointers, and no uncontested two-point shots, and guard your own guy. Those are kind of his 4 precepts of how he wants his teams to play defense. But so far they've left a lot of guys open on the three-point line. They need to address that.
Meanwhile, Sean Singletary at the line, and this is automatic. Great players, great scorers, almost always great foul shooters. And Singletary is in that class. 84% for his career at Virginia. Coming up at halftime, we'll have an FSN final score update. We'll also recap the first half. We're also going to look ahead to a big series coming up, the first ever Pac-10 Big 12 Hardwood Series. We see a lot of those games right here on FSN.
Sean Singletary digging in defensively, but he's the kind of player, Sean Singletary, 1 for 8 right now. But all that's going to do is make him mad after halftime.
Well, that's big. And Dillon can give Arizona some offense.
That's his spot, Daniel Dillon. I'm not talking about the corner. I'm talking specifically in the left corner. It's where he knocks down the majority of his open jump shot looks.
Now, Arizona's flirting with a little trouble here. They're keeping Nick Wise on the court with 2 fouls. Jordan Hill just picked up his first. And as Marcus mentioned, and again, Pac-10 fans know Hill had a lot of trouble last year staying on the court, and lo and behold, first game this year, he fouled out.
He's a shot blocker, so he'll go for the pump fake. He'll aggressively pursue any kind of dribble penetration, and he's a young player. Didn't play high school basketball his junior year down in Atlanta. So he's got to learn just how to more judiciously use the physical aspect of his game.
By the way, you're not seeing an illusion if this is the first college basketball you've watched this year. There's a new rule in place this year. When you saw it there lining up on the foul line, that the last slot down low is no longer being used.
And between that and the coach's box, kind of the new points of emphasis the officials are kind of harping on. But they're vacating that last box. They don't want guys to be hurt underneath the basket. Another turnover for Daniel Dillon.
Arizona 11.
Wow. You talked about it, just 5 against Northern Arizona, which is one of the big reasons why Kevin O'Neal says they won that basketball game. And I mean, Virginia's playing tough defense, but a lot of the turnovers are just poor decisions on the part of the Wildcats.
You look at Arizona, and I'm sure Kevin O'Neill is going through a little bit of this also. So, you're not sure what you're going to get, what to expect, because this is such a new team. Possessions traded. Singletary. Dylan clears it. That's saving Arizona right now, but Singletary's not making a shot.
Yeah, no, it is. But he's not. He's the kind of player that's not going to stay down for long.
That's 3 on Wise.
Another turnover. Nick Wise, a little out of control.
That's what hurts. It's his 3rd foul. So Arizona rolled the dice, kept Wise on the floor, and he picks up his 3rd.
Good idea, but just a little bit out of control, and you're playing a good sound defensive team like Virginia. They're going to look to pick up those charging fouls.
So we talk about baptism. Freshman on the floor for the first time for Arizona, Laval Lucas Perry from Grand Blanc, Michigan college debut.
Comes from a basketball family, but still a tough situation to put a freshman in. There's the Baker guy. There's the Baker.
Alvin Baker.
There he is. Led William and Marion scoring as a freshman a couple of years ago, but decided he wanted a bigger challenge. Transferred, came into Virginia as a walk-on. Wow, he's got some hops. Terrific football player.
Well, Virginia right now is equal to its biggest lead. Dave Lato with the ball, and the 7-point lead is going to take a timeout here. So Virginia coming to Tucson, up 7 with the ball, 90 seconds to go in the first half, and fouls really hurting an Arizona team that doesn't have the depth to withstand it. Well, tomorrow night, be there live for the first show that breaks down the new BCS standings. It's the official BCS ratings show exclusively on FSN. You'll find out who's moved up, who's moved out, and who's moving on towards a BCS bowl berth, 10:30 p.m. only on FSN. And of course, out here in the Pac-10 country, the blow right here in Tucson, about 200 yards from McHale Center, where Oregon was knocked off by Arizona, and Kansas winning its game today will likely move up to 2. And how about Oklahoma taking it so far? They're not over yet, but it's 34-13. Wow. Texas Tech leading Oklahoma in the 3rd quarter. Kansas.
College football season.
Kansas in football playing for a national championship. Could you believe that?
I'm saying it's just been a crazy, unpredictable season. Good aggressive defense.
Nice dump down by Calvin Baker to Mikolauskis.
Calvin Baker's a player. He's really come in. I talked to Rick Brunson. Brunson is on the staff of Virginia this year for the first time, and they really like Calvin Baker, what he brings to the table. Practiced with the team all of last. Another turnover.
Arizona turned it over. The crowd not happy with the call, but again, Chase Budinger has been on the bench with 2 fouls, and Arizona withstood it for a while, but this little Virginia run is now making it 13-5 since Budinger left the game.
Well, it's one thing to put Nick Wise and to keep Nick Wise in the game with 2 fouls, but Chase Budinger, you don't want to, by no stretch of the imagination, take the chance of him picking up that 3rd.
So what Kevin O'Neill wants here, obviously he wants Arizona to stop and then to score. Nope, Singletary. Only a 2nd field goal, 2 of 10 shooting, and Virginia has an 11-point lead.
And that's the toughest shot that he's had all day, Sean Singletary. He knocks that down. He's missed about 4 or 5 wide open looks at the basket, but that time a little pressure. Bayless fortunate, and he wasn't called for the foul on that possession.
No shot clock. Kevin O'Neill giving Jared Bayless instruction.
Flattening out 1-4 high on the baseline.
And Lucas Perry rimmed it out. Singletary trying to hustle. Nice stop away from behind, and no last shot for Virginia. But the last 4 minutes of the half, coming out of that final timeout, were all Virginia. And the Cavaliers end the half on a 15-5 run. They take full advantage of Chase Budinger out with fouls, and it's Virginia by 11 at the half in Tucson. FSN final score update comes your way next. The tradition of Lute Olson in Arizona basketball always starts with the point guards, this legendary list of point guards.
Point guard U, they call Arizona. Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas, now with the Washington Wizards. And then here's a guy, Jared Bayless, who's going to fit right into that mold from what we've seen tonight. The only thing I'm questioning is He hadn't got enough touches, not enough shots up, because every time he's got an open look, he's knocked it down, been very productive, and showed some terrific ball handling skills with the quick crossover, nice take, and also some terrific effort at the defensive end, matched up against Sean Singletary.
Now Bayless wears 0 because from Phoenix he so admired Gilbert Arenas, but his actual first choice, he wanted to wear 32 when he came here. Problem was 32's hanging up on the wall here. A guy named Sean Elliott wore that. Couldn't get it down off the wall, so he said it took 0 for Arenas.
I would say the first great wildcat, Sean Elliott, but then Bob Elliott would probably be mad at me. Big Bob, you don't want to make Bob mad at you.
Good man, Bob Elliott.
Yep, does Arizona games for Fox Sports here in Arizona. But
Jordan Hill there picking up his second foul.
And again, and they could come in bunches for Mr. Hill. And you talked about it, Ted. We're looking at this lane here and the lane across from there, kind of vacated on the free throw area. And that's again to stop the mano-a-mano hand-to-hand combat that goes on free throw attempts.
Marcus, do you think it was a disadvantage for the defensive rebounder? They were too often getting pushed under the goal.
Hurt it under the basket, but what you're going to see, offensive teams, especially when a bad free throw shooter, run specifically designed plays to try and get the missed shots and not concede anything. So I think the physical level of play would be just the same.
Arizona got a break there, even though Hill fouled. He fouled a man, Canelo, that struggles horribly from the foul line. He shot 24% last year.
You're going to run a special to play for a missed free throw. He's the guy you want to run it for.
Budinger. Nice! Oh, there's a little elevation from Jordan Hill.
Lower him down from the rafters, and you see Jordan Hill sporting a little twisted beginning of a dreadlock look in the hair, but did a great job working on his skills down in the Atlanta area. And what a find. Now, this is the kind of finds that Lute Olson historically has done a great job here at Arizona with that exceptional kind of under-the-radar big guy. Here's Jordan Hill just following the flight of the ball, catches it off the rim just like it's a lob pass. Does a nice job finishing off the play, but that's just great athleticism, great timing, and great activity to get yourself in a position to finish off that play.
Yeah, but that good then gets neutered at the other end. Budinger just picked up his third foul. Not too close to Jeff Jones. So Budinger now going to have to be a little cautious. Virginia, Singletary takes it in, and Singletary scores.
A chip on the shoulder, tough Philadelphia guard. You may shut me down in the first half, 1 for 8, but I best believe he's coming back full throttle here in the second half, trying to carry his team, finish off this game and carry his team to victory.
See, now my question, Marcus, would be if you were Virginia, wouldn't you have inbounded the ball and gone right at Budinger again?
Yeah, I mean, but you know, it depends on who Budinger is defending. I mean, Deani is not really that good of a player at putting the ball on the floor, creating his own shot. And you know, in college basketball, you don't see as much of that as you do on the professional level. A pro game, they would have went right at Budinger. And Dave Lato will do it, but doesn't want to upset the flow of what his team normally does, and that's rely on Sean Singletary to be their guy.
Budinger can't hang on. But it's last touched by Virginia.
But one more out-of-control foray to the basket by Budinger. He's going to pick up that foul because Sean Singletary is right there for an offensive foul charge if that ball had not have been lost out of bounds.
There's the setup. Nice setup there. And Bayless open on the wing. 11 now for Jared Bayless.
I think for Arizona to have a shot tonight, with the way Budinger is being defended, Bayless is going to have to be the guy to have one of those huge nights like he is so accustomed to doing in high school.
It's interesting, Budinger went off. His first game in college was at Virginia last year. Singletary's starting to feel it.
Now that's called schooling the young fella. He broke the ankles of Jared Bayless. Nice little lean to the left, crossover back right, pull-up jump shot by Sean Singletary.
Jordan Hill chipping in. That's 10 points for Hill. And Singletary giving it up. Petnella can't catch. Turnover.
And you said it, Petnella can't catch. Hands of stone. What is this called, Roberto Duran? That's a tough, in close quarters kind of a catch, but a great idea by Sean Singletary.
Arizona students at the other end from where the Wildcats are shooting, and they're trying to raise this team, see if they can make a second half run. Bayless, Hill will end up at the line.
Man, that is a picture-perfect, fundamentally sound take by the freshman, Jared Bayless. Just a rip through left to right. And see what that does, it draws all kinds of defensive attention. There's a rip through, gets by Sean Singletary. Petinella's got to come over to help, and it leaves no one to block out Jordan Hill. So that's the freshman, Jared Bayless, making all that happen with that great rip through from the wing. See the arms on Jared Bayless. I mean, it looks like he's been lifting weights since he's about 6 years old. He's just got some cuts and some arms, some muscles.
And Marcus, how about this? Jordan Hill, I don't want to be the announcer jinx, but he's making free throws.
He worked it.
There you go. No announcer jinx. 4 in a row, and this guy's 44% as a freshman.
Yeah, but that's the one area that he told me that he really spent a lot of time down at the run and shoot basketball facility down in Atlanta. Deion Sanders opened it up a few years back, and all the ballers kind of go there to work on their games, and he did nothing but shoot this summer, so it's paying dividends for him.
And isn't that great to hear the guy worked on his free throws?
Yeah. The non-highlight aspect of the game. Very rarely do we hear guys working on the non-highlight aspect. I worked on my dunks, I worked on my three-point shot, and my handle, my killer crossover. What about free throws, huh? Oh, that'll come. That'll come naturally.
Well, that's bad foul now for Arizona. You said they come quick. Jordan Hill just picked up 2 quick ones. He has 3 now.
Again, he's a shot blocker, so that's sometimes he will learn that sometimes it's better just to get position, stay down, get the arms up, especially when you're in a groove, when you're on a roll like he's been the last 3 minutes of this game.
Right. His problem is he can't block a shot where he's heading right now. So Hill will sit with 3. Budinger continues to play with 3, and Singletary been pretty assertive here to start the second half.
I'll tell you, Sean Singletary, it's these Philly guys. I played with one at UCLA, Andre McCarthy. They got a
Budinger went left, and nobody got his way.
Well, that's the key. Dave Lato is not happy about that. They want to force it to his left, but they've got to do a better job being alert and aware to step up defensively. Petinello, the big guys, have got to be there to plug, not let him get to the paint.
Singletary pops on Bayless. And that one's going on Petinello on a rebound foul. So Ryan Petinella's picked up 3 here in the second half.
Petinello with the slow reaction. You're going to see Budinger. Actually, Petinello was involved in the screen action. And that's one of the things Steve Seymour, their fine assistant coach from Virginia, talked about. They will come over to set the screen for the pick and roll going middle. Chase will reject it and go baseline, and he wanted his bigs to be in tune with that. But that time they reacted much too slowly.
Jamil Tucker's back in for Virginia, so is Mikolaskis. Nice kick back. And Budinger with a pretty move in the line. Nicely done. 11 now for Chase Budinger.
That's throwback 1970s, 1980s basketball. A couple of short dribbles, medium range jumper game for Chase.
Somebody can still make that 12-footer, huh?
Amen. And the fact that he can knock down the 3-point shot makes Gianni have to honor that shot fake.
All right, Arizona's 13-6 now to start the second half. And when we come back, we're going to introduce Marcus's first moment of this basketball season.
Another new feature. We're doing a lot of new things, Ted, this year. A lot of new stuff happening in our college basketball broadcast, but Marcus's moment, and we're going to take special moments throughout the college basketball season. This one we're talking about Sean Singletary and the rivalry that he had with Mustafa Shakur, the outstanding point guard of Arizona for the past 4 years. Sean Singletary, Mustafa Shakur, both Philadelphia point guards with chips on their shoulders. Last season, the showdown, Virginia down 19, Singletary finished with 25, Mustafa 5 points, 0 for 5. I think Sean got the best of that, but Sean Singletary says that it's just not the same with no Mustafa out there on the floor for him to go at and try and bust up.
That's right.
He's got
a baby going against him tonight, Bayless.
Yeah, he'll do just fine.
Jamil Tucker with a big block there. Of course, Singletary made some comments after last year's game that he said basically Virginia, we were a little more physical than Arizona was, and Arizona used that here this week as a little motivation.
Well, it was Jared Bayless that took the comments and kind of waved them around to his teammates. And said, look, this is what he said last year. He said we were soft.
travel here. Turnover by Virginia.
But Arizona is doing a nice job ratcheting up their intensity defensively, which is what they've got to do. And then Chase Budinger keep going to Chase. Chase is doing a great job for himself and also for other players.
Diani in his face.
Wow.
Clean. Now the three by McClellan. Now Jawan McClellan been quiet from the senior. First points.
McClellan on the block. McClellan making an impact here.
House would have rocked and McClellan and knocked that one down.
Slow down, young fella. You hit the jumper, you block the shot. Now the adrenaline is flowing. That's not a bad shot. It's more of a heat check type of a shot. So you're not going to get mad at that. But now he's got to kind of settle down and play within the flow of the offense.
Arizona's got McHale back in it. And the Wildcats have the lead. First time since it was 1918.
And it's been Jawan McClellan finally making his presence felt. You know, Teddy spent the entire summer in New York working out with the BX physical training group that helped him sculpt his body and is paying dividends for him.
And Jawan McClellan, the senior, says it's supposed to be his team now. Well, the Arizona students got their wish. The Wildcats have come out to play in the second half, fueled by two returners, Butker, the returning freshman of the year, and senior Jawan McClellan.
Jawan McClellan showing some senior leadership, and no better way to show that than knock down a crucial three-pointer, and then also step it up defensively. Does a great job against Tucker. Tucker loses the handle, and even a better job by McClellan in transition. Little cross-court pass, crosses body pass to a streaking Chase Budinger.
Well, I love this, Marcus. I love the plus-minus stat, which is a hockey stat, but I think it really applies in basketball a lot. Tonight, Arizona's plus 15 with Budinger on the court, minus 14 when he's been out.
The pros really look at that stat and to measure a guy's effectiveness on the floor, and it measures other elements outside of scoring, which I really like.
Had it down, but it spun out, and Virginia clears it. Singletary's the only Cavalier to score so far in the second half. Bayless drills it for three. The freshman's got 14.
Arizona on a nice flow. You better check up with this guy, though. You talked about it, 49% from the three-point line last year. 6'8", 50 pounds. He could stroke it.
That's going up and down. McClellan back for two.
Somebody's got to play some defense. Somebody's got to stop the basketball, protect the lane, contest the three-point shot. The scoring and the field goal percentage is indicative for both teams way too high.
It's probably not the kind of game Kevin O'Neal likes, but his team's playing well right now. Mikalauskas with the lay-in.
Great footwork by Lars Mikalauskas. Doesn't look like the prototypical basketball body that I'm looking at out there. Kind of short arms, short neck, but man, he's got some athleticism and tough to handle with that kind of unconventional left-handed game that lefties bring at you.
Sean Singletary upset. He got called for a hand check. It's his second, and it's the fourth on Virginia in the half. Nick Wise going to come back in for Arizona for the first time in the second half. And Budinger's actually going to sit, so we'll get that plus-minus going again. Here as Budinger gets a breather. Now that Arizona has regained its balance, Kevin O'Neal's going to try to see if he can milk Budinger into a TV timeout.
And you've got a Jawan McClellan who's now a lot more aggressive, and not only aggressive but productive. He had just one field goal attempt at halftime. So he gives you that kind of second score on the floor along with Jared Bayless.
Good block out there by Petnella. Calvin Baker back for Virginia. Again, right now Mikalauskas also has a basket. Singletary's got 6 points in the half, 15 for the game.
Look at Adrian Joseph had 5 3-pointers the last game against Vermont. There's Calvin Baker. He can do that. 11 points a game as a freshman. So he's got that kind of scoring potential in his system.
And Joseph for Virginia tonight has been like McClellan was until about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing for a senior.
Absolutely nothing from him. And he's too good of an offensive player, too athletic, too good of a shooter from the outside to just play Casper the Ghost and disappear.
Tucker Butler with those long arms out there, deflected McClellan's pass out. That'll get us to that aforementioned official break with Virginia in a 1-point lead. Well, Chase Buttinger was the Pac-10 Freshman of the Year. He resisted the temptation to test the pros out after 1 year, came back for a second. We've seen tonight a little bit of the all-around importance, Marcus.
Yeah, and just a terrific athlete. He's a renowned, acclaimed volleyball player, so he's got the hops, but he's got a tremendously high skill level, as he shows on a little catch show. One dribble, pull-up, jump shot, medium range game, the three-point game, a terrific passer. That's why people are talking about him as a potential lottery pick whenever he decides to come out of school.
I asked Kevin O'Neill the other day, I said, can Buttinger be a leader? He said he's just not his style. He said, I want Buttinger to be more a player than a leader.
Yeah, as my old friend Sidney Wicks used to say, I let my game do my talking.
Well, there's a Buttinger assist as McClellan finishes the break.
And that's the thing about Chase that I really like as a player. Again, he's not looking out there to be the gunner, and he's got to walk that fine line and know when to be aggressive and to be selfish, and to know when to be the facilitator and look to pass the basketball.
Boy, Jamil Tucker's, this is the best night. His career high had been 9 points coming in. He has 12 off the bench for UVA.
He can shoot it, man. If you ask him to make a shot with the key under duress, you might be asking for a little too much, but you give him a chance to get his feet set and an open look, he'll knock it.
Great pass. Great pass. Well, that's just fun. I mean, it's fun to see basketball played that way.
And that's seeing a play develop before it happens. And here's a great defense by Arizona and Daniel Dillon, and then here's Buttinger in transition, and that's the easy pass, wide open, DeJuan McClellan. Here's a tough pass. You're passing it to where you suspect a cutting Brett Brillmeyer will wind up with a defender in the area who has no idea that Brillmeyer is behind him. And so you got to thread that needle through that thing with the mustard on it.
You know what? He's playing like a leader, isn't it?
Yeah.
Buttinger.
And that's all you can ask of him. You don't want him to try and change his personality, because that takes you totally out of your game and who you are as a person and as a player.
Patinella for Virginia picked up his 4th foul on that play. He is out right now. Calvin Baker with the ball.
Okay, but it's Singletary time. It's time for Sean Singletary to assert himself, trying to take over this game. And
look who Arizona has on him.
With their best defender going against the best offensive player.
So Kevin O'Neill's got the matchup. It'll be a held ball and a possession to Virginia. So Singletary, key offensive man for UVA, and Dillon, the best defender for Arizona, head-to-head.
And what's going to happen, Sean Singletary is real tricky with the basketball, so he's going to be able to penetrate. Arizona's going to have to help, so now Virginia needs the Tuckers and the Josephs and the Bakers. Mikulášek's inside to knock down some shots.
Shot clock running out. Tucker again. Oh, look at the crash by Joseph. Hello, he arrived.
Everything does not have to come from perimeter jump shots. You knock down 5 against Vermont if you're Adrian Joseph, but a lot of times to get going as a scorer, you gotta get the garbage. You gotta crash the offensive glass, get out in transition, get some layups.
So Joseph, his first basket of the night.
And nobody blocks him out. There's Chase Buttinger, and it's kind of the curse of the leaper. Chase is such a good leaper that time, didn't even bother to see if Joseph was going to swarm the offensive glass. He was going to rely on his leaping ability, but Joseph able to sneak in there and say, hey, I can get up pretty high myself.
Dillon out now for Arizona, and Bayless is back in. The key will be what happens at the other end, who Arizona puts on Singletary, which is Bayless or Nick Wise.
I suspect Nick Wise will at least get the start.
So Buttinger with a misfire, and Singletary. There's the leaping again. That's Tucker's got long arms. Tucker is one of those guys, he's playing like Kyle Weaver of Washington State. He touches the ball all the time.
Yeah, I love Kyle Weaver. Kyle Weaver, he's getting his due finally, Kyle Weaver, but for the last 3 years, he's been one of the most underappreciated players in the entire country.
Absolutely.
You talked about Nick Wise and the fouls, 4 fouls, and that was just Sean Singletary in take mode, going to his right. And Singletary does a great job, which all scorers do, especially the little guys, of just initiating the contact. Again, a tough little Philadelphia chip on the shoulder type of mentality.
So he's 4 for 17 tonight from the floor. You can still look around and think he's playing a pretty good game.
Yeah, but and that's coming off a 1 for 8 halftime. There's still not a lot of positive productivity in terms of field goal percentage in the second half, but you doesn't really matter talking about a Sean Singletary.
He's got 7 assists.
Yep. He's drawing defenders, and he's kicking the ball off to open guys, and playing tough defense himself. There he is right there.
Setting up Jones.
There he is right there.
Well, Jones have been quiet. No more.
Forget about the stats and what he's shooting from the field. He just means a lot more to his team than what those stats reflect.
8 assists for Singletary. Jones, who made 4 threes early in the game, knocks one down, and it's 7 straight points. Timeout, Arizona. Now this week on Sports Science here at FSN, we'll find out how much range can an NFL receiver cover, how quickly an NFL quarterback reacts in the pocket. The hidden mysteries of sports like you've never seen before are revealed. The best of Sports Science, Sunday at 9 p.m. only on FSN. Check local listings for the start time in your area. Ted Robinson, Marcus Johnson with you tonight on our College Hoops kickoff. We'll be back with you in about 10 days. Thursday, November 28th will be our next game. Oklahoma at USC.
And here's a little defensive confusion, I thought, on the part of Arizona. Bayless and Dillon kind of having some animated conversation about who was supposed to pick up the shooter, Jeff Jones, on that possession. I'm sure Kevin O'Neal got it straight.
Nearly a turnover. McClellan the save, in trouble and out of bounds. It is a turnover. McClellan stepped out.
Yeah, and good job by the bigs, Joseph and Mikalauskas, to wall McClellan on that baseline. Here's the bigs right there. Actually, it was Jeff Jones and Adrian.
It's only the second Arizona turnover of this half, after 13 in the first. So Dillon again on Singletary.
Adrian Joseph did a nice job as the runner, coming off the screens, right box, left box.
Oh, great left hand move by Singletary. Man.
Yeah, that's a good execution, and that's a series that they call the Phoenix screen, something that the Phoenix Suns do offensively. Big guy comes out, does a nice job freeing up Singletary to get to the basket.
20 points for Singletary, and Virginia back up by 7. They have answered Arizona's charge. Now Singletary slaps at Bayless and picks up his third.
They quietly reasserted themselves.
So Singletary with 20 points, with 8 assists, now with 3 fouls for Dave Lato.
As all good coaches and good coaching staffs do, Virginia Cavaliers spent a lot of time at shoot-around working on specialty offensive sets, and one of them was the Phoenix screen. You're going to see Mikalauskas come up here, set a screen for Sean Singletary. Doesn't use that, going to go this way, but just the presence of the big guy Mikalauskas in the area opens up that lane, because Dillon, you see, shades Singletary to the right. Singletary explodes right down the middle left, gets the easy basket, but the Phoenix screen, that's what we just saw from Virginia.
Who's that name for? You know?
I would suspect the Phoenix Suns. Amari Stoudemire does a great job with Steve Nash.
This generation, that's what I was wondering. This generation.
Coming out of the post, setting the screen, freeing up Nash to get it to the
Not Walter Davis or anybody like that.
No. Although I did see one of the Van Ark brothers here.
Who's there? There's Hill in the lane. Budinger's nice step in. And Hill with a foul.
But he's been aggressive. By Chase Budinger's aggressiveness, is a great job. He stopped, gets the shot off, causes Mikalauskas to lead, to contest, opens up Jordan Hill for the offensive rebound.
That ended a 9-point run by Virginia. Now Arizona trying to start a run, and Bayless to McClellan.
One of the benefits of Juwan McClellan dropping the weight that he had last year, about 15 pounds, he is doing a terrific job getting out on the wing, and more importantly, finishing off everything with a two-handed slam dunk. He was not doing that.
That's got Dave Lato taking a timeout for Virginia.
That's a quick shot by Mamadi Diani, not a good shot for him. And the defensive balance terrible for Virginia, which allows McClellan to get behind that last line of defenders for the easy dunk.
All right, Marcus, it isn't just the glittering freshman in this conference. What a sophomore group that returned, led by Chase Butler.
Freshmen are so good, we forget about the sophomores. Chase, you got the Lopez twins, Robert and Brooke. Once he comes back, they're going to be tough to score against, tough to stop. Ryan Anderson, the surprise story of the Pac-10 last year. Well, maybe behind this guy, Tawan Porter, the surprise story. And then Quincy Pondexter, do everything, 6'7", wing player for the Huskies. That funky Brooklyn post-up game of Taj Gibson's going to be huge for USC. And look at the list of the Wooden Award candidates, 10. Most of any conference, 10. And that's not even including the freshmen.
Right, 10 out of 50 in the country coming from the Pac-10.
And that number's about right, because all the analysts that I've been reading about say the Pac-10 has about 20 of the top 100 players in the country so far this season.
Of course, that sophomore list would have been enhanced by one more had Spencer Hawes not gone to the NBA. Foul on Daniel Dillon here. Team fouls are 5, Arizona 6, Virginia. So getting close to the bonus.
This is a great game for both teams. A close game here down the stretch. You have to execute. Young guys have to make smart decisions.
Young guy out of control.
Which was not the case that time with Jeff Jones. You may be able to get away with that in high school, but defensively, the reaction is a lot quicker on this level. Jordan Hill does a nice job establishing himself outside of the key and picks up the offensive charge.
So 3 personals on Jeff Jones of Virginia.
Let's see how these young players respond and how the vets hold up down the stretch here for both teams. This is a time when you need somebody to make plays other than the stars.
Oh, Dillon strips Singletary.
Well, there's one play.
Great pass. Ow! What a pass.
Terrific.
Butler's putting on some passing show.
I tell you, that's what I like about his game. He can pass. He feeds off of passing the basketball. He gets energy from making a good pass just as much as he would from making a terrific shot.
And now McHale getting loud. Another turnover. Bayless. And Bayless to the line will try to get Arizona back in front at the 6-minute mark.
Here's some good defense by Daniel Dillon against Sean Singletary. Nice job. Get a hand in there, poke it free. And then here's a beautiful thread-the-needle bounce pass. And then Jared Bayless showed some athleticism on the finish. Great transition from the defensive end to the offensive end. And there's Chase Budinger just kind of hanging around, picking up the basketball.
Now, you know this since you were a scorer. You play with a guy like this, you know there's an incentive to run. Because if you run down the court, he's got a great chance to get it to you.
I'm going to be a running, cutting fool. ball watching fool, because you got to keep your eye on the basketball, because he might hit you in the head if you're not looking. So you got to make sure you have vision. But it makes you run that much harder, make your cuts that much harder. Just really fight to get open that much harder, because you know he's going to deliver.
There's a reward.
Yeah, there's a reward at the other end. And that's all, in the end, what we all want is rewards for our hard work.
Oh, and Bayless, big there now. Bayless misses both.
Yeah, he did that against Northern Arizona. He was a 90% shooter in high school, Jared Bayless, and he's got to be careful, because this could start a negative trend, kind of feeling the pressure in close games down the stretch if he continues to miss these big free throws.
And a test for Virginia with Sean Singletary sitting.
He's going to score points for Virginia. Baker's done a pretty decent job. You know, Jeff Jones can shoot the heck out of the basketball.
Baker. That crash out of bounds. It's off Jones. And it's back to Arizona.
How long will Sean Singletary stay on the bench? 5:28 left in this game, I suspect, by the 5-minute mark.
That's it. Will he go to the TV timeout or not? Which is at the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to hold him out. I know you want to give him a blow right here, but you cannot afford to allow Arizona to regain control of this game. They're down 1 at this stage.
Virginia's gone 3 minutes without a point. Now foul is called on Mamadi Diani.
That's a great point. Their offense is not flowing like they want it to normally flow, and then with no Sean Singletary on the floor, who does so many things for them, like we're talking about Chase Budinger, Sean Singletary, his playmaking a big key, and here he is. Front and center, mister. Front and center, mister.
Budinger is to Arizona as Singletary is to Virginia from the foul line. He's a scorer, and when he gets to the foul line, he's money.
And we're seeing guys who play the game the way I like for it to be played, who are just not looking to score points in bunches. They look to be aggressive, scoring the basketball, but the thing they're looking for most is just to try and play basketball and create openings to pass the basketball when the opportunity is there.
You know, Marcus, one thing we haven't mentioned yet about Budinger, you know, he's in better shape. He has a trainer he's been working with for a long time, 6 days a week during the summer in Southern California.
Trent Suzuki. And Trent Suzuki has worked out everyone from Shaquille O'Neal to Magic Johnson to Martina Navratilova, Kirk Gibson, Dave Roberts, Bill Roberts. So he really knows his business.
Well, I'll tell you something, Martina is a pretty good endorsement.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard to find a better athlete.
That whole crew, not too bad. But yeah, but you're right. And that was what she was known for as one of the premier female tennis players in the world. But Chase Budinger, like you say, 6 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day, weightlifting, conditioning. We have the technologies. We can rebuild it.
Arizona scored the last 8 points now. The Wildcats have barely led tonight. They played most of this game uphill.
And here's a guy, once again, that you have to be concerned about. That's a good job.
Singletary offensive foul.
That's Chase Budinger.
Right.
I mean, you know, that's great reaction, but that's the guy that you have to focus your attention on. And when he puts his head down, going left, he did a nice job keeping him away from the screen. But there's Chase once again outside of the key area, making the call an easy call for the official.
So now Singletary has 4. And Dave Lado is definitely going to take him out here, I'm sure, at least through the TV time. Budinger, remember, Budinger picked up his 3rd early in the second half. He's played most of this half with 3.
Yeah, and you can't afford to leave Sean Singletary on the bench for long, even with the 4 fouls. You have to trust that he's going to be smart enough not to pick up the silly, out-of-control foul like on that last foul, that 4th foul.
Gianni there with a nice job, defensive second block on Budinger in this half.
Because this team is going to be hard-pressed to score some buckets without the penetrating ability of Sean Singletary. And these guys, Baker and Joseph and Jones, are all catch-and-shoot guys.
Joseph runs down the long rebound.
We need somebody to draw some defenders, suck the defense into the paint, and then make the kick-out pass, and that's Sean Singletary. He's not on the floor, so it's going to be hard to get that open look.
And Gianni travels. Gianni got stuck, and the defense there from Dillon forced the turnover. So the final 4 minutes of a terrific non-conference battle to kick off our FSN Pac-10 Hoop season. Marcus, what would you say is the biggest thing to you that has enabled Arizona to come back from 11 down at the half?
Well, I thought that Chase Budinger did a great job of asserting himself, and also he can't do it alone, so someone else had to step up and assist him. That was Jawan McClellan. He ran the wing, knocked down a 3-point shot, and that's been a big key. Their defense has been outstanding against Sean Singletary the last couple of minutes. Cutting down driving lanes, picked up an offensive foul, making things awful difficult. Daniel Dillon with the strip of Sean Singletary. So that's been a big key, too. Yes. The defense, and then Jawan McClellan has made himself known here the last 5 minutes of this game.
Budinger got in there, but didn't put it down. Now Singletary back, playing with 4 for Virginia. And Gianni got a great look.
But see, the presence of Sean Singletary, Ted, he's not going to get the assist, but it's like hockey. He should get half an assist.
Absolutely.
Because he made the pass that led to the pass.
He made the play.
Yeah, he made the play by giving it up to Baker. Baker made the extra pass. But it was Sean Singletary's presence that got the open shot for Gianni.
All right, well, now we're going to get a test of Bayless at the foul line. Virginia is at 10 fouls, so every foul the rest of the way is an automatic 2 for the Wildcats.
And again, he missed a couple of big ones in a close game against Northern Arizona a few days back. The Wildcats were able to pull it out. Missed 2 the last time he was at the line. Here's a kid who was a 90% free throw shooter in high school.
And we've been talking all about this point guard play, which is not a natural position for Bayless, and it may well only be 1 year. Arizona this week on signing day signed one of the premier point guards in the country, Brandon Jennings from Los Angeles.
Played at Dominguez High School in Compton for a couple of years and transferred to Oak Hill, and again, he is the top prospect, and he would be a top 10 draft pick if he came out and declared for the NBA draft. That's just how good he is and how highly regarded Brandon Jennings is. But right now, stay in the moment. Now you need the defensive effort against Sean Singletary.
Well, foul here on Arizona. You got Hill on the drive through the lane. So that's 4 on Hill now. That's only the 6th team foul. So Virginia will inbound here. Then they'll get on the next Arizona foul to the 1-and-1.
Dave Libby going to confer with the monitor on the sideline.
All right, so look, they're consulting here at the table as they can do by rule on time.
Which is a huge factor in this game. It's not at 69 all, 2:52 left. So every second a precious commodity.
Well, the students here and the fans of Tucson saw this a lot Thursday night. The fourth quarter of that football game took about 4 hours to play because everything was reviewed, and it seemed like everything was reviewed 6 times.
Kind of been a wacky football season, man, also. SC, everybody thought they would kind of be the dominant force, and then Cal looked like they were going to be the dominant force in the Pac-10, and has not been the case.
Of course, here again, this is what you hope that replay and the use of video does. It enables the officials to make sure they get everything right, which in this case is the time remaining.
So it looks like 2:58 was the actual time when the foul was committed. It was based on
that's
what replay. Okay.
So they put 6 seconds back on the clock.
Now, let's see if Arizona how aggressively they contest the inbounds play. Some traps with some denials. They don't. They kind of just they're real soft, kind of a man-to-man defense. But they've had some success forcing Virginia into some desperation situations inbounding the basketball.
Jordan Hill, the one Arizona player with 4. Singletary with 4 on the court for Virginia. Tough pass there. Low percentage, very low percentage play by Calvin Baker.
It was, and well played by Arizona. They had great ball vision on the part of Jordan Hill. He's got some elevation also. He just got up there and slapped that away toward the lob attempt. But you're right, real risky play to run in this situation.
And the turnovers are reversed in the second half. 10 by Virginia, only 2 by Arizona. The long rebound of the missed 3 right back to Arizona.
Again, Adrian Joseph just turning and crashing the boards, not respecting the fact that he's got the block out, put a body, at least check. A body check on Daniel Dillon. He did not. The long rebound comes right to Dillon. Another possession, new shot clock for Arizona.
Yep. And Kevin O'Neill's going to reset offense during this timeout. Well, next week, college football Saturday returns to FSN, a doubleheader day. It begins with the Saturday kickoff show presented by Kyocera. And then Oklahoma State battles Oklahoma, which has just been shocked tonight by Texas Tech. And at the Pac-10, the Apple Cup game from Seattle, Washington State and Washington. It all starts at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific in high def right here on FSN. Of course, we mentioned our next Pac-10 College Hoops Night will be Thursday, November 28th when Oklahoma. Jeff Capel will bring the Sooners basketballers out to visit O.J. Mayo and USC. It'll be in high def right here on FSN. It starts the Pac-10 Big 12 Hardwood Series.
Looking forward to seeing that. Jeff Capel, all of about 32, 33 years old. It's like, what am I doing with my life? Here he is. He's had 2 coaching jobs, man, and doing a great job with great basketball bloodlines. From his father, his brother Jason, a great player in North Carolina. So they're going to be ready. And then the opportunity to see O.J. Mayo and the crew up close and personal. So on this summer play, and some pickup kind of summer league basketball, and he's everything and more that he's advertised to be.
And so the interesting thing during that timeout, Mark, is Kevin O'Neill is defense, but that's an offensive huddle, right? Possession, 2 minutes to go, tie game.
Here's the execution that we want, and I talked about him. He is a guy who's noted to be this defensive guru, but you got to break down countless hours of film, know every single offensive set, know what works against certain defenses, and so you become an offensive specialist in the process. He's got offensive sets just coming out of his ears.
Hill turns to face. Double down by Singletary, and it creates the turnover.
Not a good decision on the part of Jordan Hill to turn and face and allow yourself to be put into a position where a double team will affect you like that at this stage of the game. They're trying to be working on new moves.
It's only the third Arizona turnover in the second half. Singletary got Dillon. So Singletary, he's done a nice job going left. And drew the foul from Daniel Dillon.
Yeah, they did a nice job of clearing out the whole area. I mean, that was kind of like pro set kind of basketball where they cleared out the entire left side, 4 guys on the right side. And as you talked about, because he is such a terrific medium-range jump shooter, he gives you the eye twitch fake. You're going to go for it if you're Daniel Dillon. I mean, it's tough to stay down. Dillon has played him solidly on defense the entire night, but got caught that time.
21 for Singletary, who got All-American consideration last year. The first Virginia player to be so honored since a guy named Sampson.
Yeah, and did make the 3rd team, National Association of Basketball Coaches team, and that's the one that, I made that team the 2nd team as a junior, but I relished that one more.
Really?
For as much as all of it, because it's the coaches that are voting for you. And you want the coaches to, not to knock the writers, but the coaches voting for you just has a different flavor to it.
Well, that's a tough shot by Bayless. Tough shot, and here's Singletary. Now Virginia takes command of the final minute with a score. And we're going to talk about it first. So 61 seconds. Bayless, and that was that moment, or that's the play in high school that was his play. Here's what happened today in the Pac-10. I tell you, for a lot of Stanford people, that brings back some memories. 18 years ago in the NCAA, Siena stunned them, and Stanford went to play Siena in Albany today.
Yeah.
Lost. They did that to honor one of their senior players from New York. USC with the win. We said Mayo had 29.
Yeah. Oregon did a great job. Ernie Kent blowing out Portland, and Oregon State taking one on the chin to Alaska Fairbanks.
That was the home game. They're playing up in Fairbanks, the top of the world tournament.
Yeah, but if C.J. Giles will become eligible for Oregon State, they're transfer from Kansas. But that Stanford-Siena game, that's a tough road game. Siena had everybody back. They got a great transfer from Josh Duell from Vermont, 6'7", 259. He had 16 points, 6 rebounds this afternoon. Lawrence Hill limited to 11 minutes because of a sprained ankle. So, that's a long, tough trip for Stanford.
And you saw now, if Arizona fouls, non-shooting here, it's a 1-and-1.
Virginia going to be content to work a little more clock. About 10 seconds. Dave Lato watching the clock now. He's telling his point guard Sean Singletary, take him, make something happen, make me a genius.
Oh, Hill slipped. And Hill slipped, and that lets Singletary get free.
And you know why he slipped. Sean Singletary, a great in and out move on the dribble. Looked like he was going to pin.
McClellan. Bayless answers, and Arizona's still alive.
Bail out Bayless. Bails him out offensively as Chase Budiger could not free himself. But again, great job swinging it around the perimeter of the Wildcats. And that's, everybody knows this is the guy you want to shoot at Sean Singletary. But right here, nice job on the take. And then Jordan Hill just, I don't know what happened to him. Big got tangled up. He takes a tumble backwards and tough in that situation. And then the extra pass, Dillon to Jared Bayless.
So Marcus, we started tonight talking about the 2 point guards. The new kid Bayless against the great All-ACC player in Singletary. Singletary scored 4 in a row to break the tie to give Virginia the lead. Bayless has now come back with a 3. And I would expect Singletary's going to have the ball in his hand this entire possession.
Yeah, I mean, as well as he shoots free throws, you talked about him, 84% Sean Singletary. So Arizona's in a position now where they're going to obviously contest the inbounds, try and get a steal here early. But if that's not happening for you, you're going to have to foul and rely on well, even if
can they keep it from Singletary?
Yeah.
Let's see. Dillon on him.
But you don't want Singletary to be the free throw shooter, which is the key. There you go, contesting.
Virginia got the timeout. No, they didn't get it.
Got the 5
Virginia did not call the timeout.
They got the 5 count, and that's a major brain lock on the part of Mamadi Diani.
They had a timeout.
2, 3, 4, 5. You see Vern Harris on the sideline, cap him off. And then the timeout call too late. I talked about trying to deny and contest that inbounds play. Arizona's had a lot of success. Smart job by Kevin O'Neal, picking and choosing his spots.
Then Dillon and Buttinger both doubling up to try to deny Singletary.
They were playing 5 defenders on 4 offensive players because you had one offensive player taking the ball out of bounds. Here's Sean Singletary, what he's done in the second half. He's been tremendous, making the difficult shots, the leaners, off the dribble moves, a tough jumper here on an isolation out top. We talked about they're going to deny right there. 2 guys, Buttinger, Daniel Dillon denying Sean Singletary, and Jawan McClellan was really the big key because he just blanketed Adrian Joseph. He was like Lester Hayes with the goo. He had the goo. You know, you're from the Bay Area. You know about Lester Hayes and the goo. The goo would stick onto those wide receivers, and they couldn't go nowhere.
Well, that was nice defense. Now, can Arizona cash in? Arizona's out of timeouts. They've got to play it out.
They've got to inbound the basketball. Turnabout fair play.
Oh, Bayless touched it. There's a turnover. Bayless made a mistake. He touched the ball. He could have gone to backcourt with it. He didn't realize that. He touched it in the front court. That's what created the problem.
Freshman mistake. I mean, you know, he got close to the half-court line, and he started to panic, thinking, you know, I've got to secure the basketball. Should have just let it bounce.
Exactly.
Chase it down in the backcourt. Been their possession.
So Adrian Joseph will shoot a 1-and-1 here for Virginia. First free throws this year.
So these are going to be tough, but worst case scenario, he knocks them both down. You still are in a position, if you're Arizona, where you don't really need a three-pointer. You can go for the quick 2 foul again.
And again, now Virginia's played at Cameron and the Dean Dome. These guys got like a senior like this. I mean, these guys are trying their best here, but they've seen this before. Arizona's no timeouts again. They've got to play it out here. Oh, that's calm, huh? So Dave Lato's going to, how about this? Dave Lato going to take the defensive timeout.
Now, this is an interesting maneuver by Dave Lato. Just because, you know, you give Arizona a chance to diagram a play. And so now you've got to, obviously, you don't want a 3-point shot that's sent it into overtime. You don't want a quick early shot, but you know, in college basketball, you basically want to be solid. You don't change your defenses in this kind of a situation. You do practice for these specialty situations.
And so here's the magic question, Marcus. It's asked at both the pro and college levels: do you foul? If you're Virginia, when the clock gets down and Arizona's close to the 3, do you foul somebody to prevent the 3?
Yeah, that is the age-old.
Exactly. How do you put it? Where do you come down on?
Well, a lot depends on what's happened during the course of the game. Now, Jarrett Bayless has been hot. Chase Buttinger has been hot. Some of these other guys, if it's McClellan shooting the 3, I may not foul. But I'm not sure if you want your college guys to have to process all that. I don't think you foul in this situation. You know, I just think you try and play the possession as solidly as you can. And if I'm Arizona, I'm not looking to necessarily shoot a 3-point shot. I may go right to the basket, try and get to the free throw line, stop the clock, score a quick 2 points, and then foul again and take my chances that Virginia may miss.
Try to stretch the game.
Well, they may miss one of the free throws. So now you're only down 2, so you don't need the 3-point shot.
So there's McClellan, who was the leading 3-pointer last year. Bayless has made 4 tonight. Buttinger's made 1. See how quickly Arizona pushes here.
But you need someone to kind of put it on the floor to penetrate, draw some defenders. You don't want to spend a lot of time on this.
Yeah, McClellan, but they used up too much time. Buttinger. Bayless, now he's got to shoot the 3. Did he get fouled? No! And this one's going to belong. That's out of bounds off Arizona at .6, and barring a catastrophic mistake, it's Virginia's game.
It's a tough position for Arizona with Jawan McClellan being the primary ball handler, trying to break a smaller, quicker defender down off the dribble.
There's the touch by Singletary, and Virginia ends this 4-year series with Arizona with the first road win. Last year, the only team to win at Virginia was Stanford, a Pac-10 team, and it was a huge win to get Stanford in the tournament. Virginia hopes this guy could be that kind of win for them.
Virginia! Terrific confidence booster for this team that's trying to rediscover its personality with the loss of J.R. Reynolds and Jason Kane last year, and they went a long way toward doing that with a nice gutty win here. Close game at McHale against a very fine Arizona team.
And for Arizona, they've still got non-conference coming up at Kansas next week, Texas A&M, at Illinois, at Memphis. These young men for Arizona are going to have to grow up in a hurry. Marcus?
Good primer, though. Good primer for them tonight.
It's been fun. We'll see you in LA in about 10 days. Our game tonight produced by Brad Zager, directed by Doug Freeman. Thanks to our entire crew. Stay tuned in most regions for FSN Final Score next. For Marcus Johnson and our entire FSN crew, Ted Robinson, thanks for being with us.